3, 2, 1. Okay. Mr. Sanders, I have a question. Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Mr. Sanders, should we tax remittances? Money they send abroad? Hello, everyone. I am here with
Ivan.
And friendly.
Brenly. This is a town hall based on immigration. I just have some questions to ask you. Immigrants send a lot of money to their foreign countries. Should we put a tax on remittances to encourage the money to stay in the U.S.?
Well, I think it's important that money goes around. I know, but I also know it's important that it stays here.
Everyone, we are here at a Bernie Sanders town hall, and this is on immigration. I have a few questions to ask you. My first question is, immigrants send a lot of money back to their foreign countries. Should we put a tax on the wire transfers to encourage the money to stay in the United States? Bernie has tax plans, so.
So regarding taxing families sending of money to like foreign countries and all that.
Right. So you have Philippines, Mexico.
Yeah,
El Salvador.
absolutely. My dad is from Chile, and he actually had to flee Chile after America backed the coup. Ousting, Allende. So that was a lot of the reason he had to leave, because the country was just basically in a big catastrophe, and he ended up sending a lot of money back to his mother.
Ask me.
What is your name?
Nancy.
Nancy, I'd like to ask you, this was an immigration town hall. Why is it that Las Vegas has among the highest portion of people who are not legally here? How does that happen?
I don't know.
Okay, just thought you looked at the numbers. Do you suggest we should impose a tax on money immigrants send abroad?
On money they send abroad?
Western Union, MoneyGram, to encourage the money to stay in the U.S. once they earn?
I'm not sure. I'd have to think about it.
And I think that policy, in regards to taxing it, I'm not quite sure.
Maybe there should be exemptions.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in taxes. I believe there should be more taxes for certain things, but just in terms of like trying to send money to your family in a foreign country, I'm not quite sure about that. Probably not.
So, but Bernie Sanders has a plan to tax Wall Street. That's reasonable because you want to stop speculation. That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
So Wall Street can speculate oil and we pay more for gas. My question is, how many people a year the United States should bring in?
So I believe in a factual, scientific, holistic approach to things. So I'm not the expert on that question about what would be the best percentage or amount of people. I believe the number one priority should be to undemonize any sort of foreign alien or any of that. But at the end of the day, I'm not the person to ask for numbers. I believe, America is the land of opportunity.
And also, how many people America should bring in a year?
How many should we bring in a year?
Immigrants, yes.
So apparently you don't like the idea of getting rid of the border. Is that's what you're leading up to with your questions?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. We bring people in 1 million a year, so you want to raise it, lower it.
What would the problem be? It would depend on how much money we have in the country to cover the debts and the services we want to provide to our own people. Any excess money could be exported to the global economy. Why not?
I hear you. So I think you're trying to say it depends on the condition of the country?
Yes.
Okay, I'll agree with you on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
I don't believe in the American dream. I think it's actually fraudulent. But I believe I believe there are better opportunities in here, and that's why people come here.
Some people just don't want to see their cities like Los Angeles or Shanghai, like Las Vegas. We don't want the crowding, congestion, and I think it's.
No. If you're just talking in terms of traffic, we need everyone to get the hell out, because for Vegas, the traffic is getting real bad.
You see, because I think that when we're having lots of competition and people, that's why people want to reduce, put at a pause. And other question I want to ask is, Las Vegas has the highest rate of people who are not legally here, one of the highest rates in the U.S.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Why do you think that is the case? Because I'm told that we need them to pick the crops, but I look around, there aren't any farmers' fields. I mean,
Yeah, so if you're just talking in terms of farming jobs, I'm not quite sure on that. But I do know that Vegas is very Hispanic. Lots of our schools are actually Title I. And
how does that, in your opinion, how does Las Vegas have the very high Hispanic
I'm
population?
assuming it has to do something if Vegas were located, in Washington or something, it obviously wouldn't.
Well, actually, in Washington State,
Yeah.
the Latino community resides on the southeast part of the state, not so much in Seattle and Portland.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is employment that's what's bringing.
Sure, yeah.
But I don't care about race.
But
I care about.
yeah, absolutely. In terms of that, 100% has to do something with the Strip. Absolutely. The Strip is just basically just like an international job fair, basically.
So I'm sorry, is the Strip hiring people who are not here legally?
I'm not quite sure on that. But the Strip brings lots of job-based opportunities just around it as well.
Okay,
so it's not particularly
indirectly.
to the Strip, but kind of, yeah, absolutely.
I checked last time. Every Strip hotel, all the casinos I found out on the government website, they do e-verify. They do check
absolutely,
if you're legally, and I think it should be mandated every employer to do it.
Yeah.
Now, it sucks. Some may lose their job, but my mom came here legally, and this is just not fair. And I think that's the best way to do it than ICE raids or mega police states or whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah.
So what really gets me is the fact that we have among the highest rate of people who don't have paperwork, and we're not bordering another country, we're not bordering another ocean. Usually this would be a state like California, New York, Florida, Texas, but it's just shocking that, and I am sorry, but this neighborhood isn't pretty, and something tells me it's not working.
I just guess in terms of the answer, it'd probably have to deal with just like the Strip is really unique in itself. For Vegas, just for all the job opportunities, I know that. If you're just talking about directly like the east side of Vegas, yeah, absolutely. It's not pretty there. They're making efforts towards downtown Vegas to make it prettier. They're doing like lots of art-based cultural things.
Right.
And
the northeast
that deals a
border.
little bit more with gentrification too. But I think that's just around the world, anywhere where housing is cheap and.
I know, but Boise, Idaho doesn't have a lot of beat-up places. And Boise isn't as expensive. It's probably the same price as here. So
yeah, sure.
I just think
that sure. I wouldn't live in Boise. I like Vegas. I like it here.
I hear you. I hear you.
But
it sounds so. It's the casinos are the ones that are heavily employing, because I noticed that
it's
I was
like
at the
direct
buffet.
employment.
I was at the buffet, and seemed like 70% of buffet workers were foreign born. And even my own mom, who's an immigrant, saw that, and she felt kind of fishy.
Yeah,
So.
Both my parents started off as illegals, and then they worked their way, and then 20 years later, my mom just became an American citizen like 3 years ago. She's from France.
I see.
Yeah, so yeah.
Well, I appreciate your interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am
What's your
sorry.
name?
My name is Cyrus, but I am
Cyrus?
sorry to say, but it's just not fair to my parents who got the green card. And
Yeah, absolutely.
it's just
at the bottom of the day, all I know is that there could be a better solution that Democrats and Republicans could both agree on, but because of it's very hard to get anything done. It's if you ask, from what I've understood, if you ask a lot of these political experts, they'll tell you that nothing can get done on immigration properly just because no side's willing just to. Democrats and Republicans. It's not just towards left
I look
or right.
at it this way. I think our body is sick, or our country is run like a DMV, and I think the last thing you need is more people. And I personally think our immigration levels should be tied to wages and cost of living. So if the wages go up and things improve,
so that's more of
then
a
you bring
merit-based
more
program.
and
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm absolutely for that. Yeah.
Well,
So
that's what Trump is for. But
yeah. There's levels to it. I'm not just gonna say because Trump's for something, I'm totally against it. Trump actually ran a lot on populism. he backstabbed a lot of what he previously said when he was running it on his campaign.
Right.
But that's how he won, because he ran on a lot of populism ideology,
true.
and he kind of abandoned it. And he knows that Bernie Sanders is the biggest populist running right now, and he knows that's dangerous.
Well, the Bernie voters in the Midwest switched and gave Trump the victory in Michigan, Wisconsin. But anyway,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah,
Great pleasure.
thank you.
I
It was
appreciate
Cyrus?
we can, yes.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
Cyrus 992. if you wanna
Cyrus
look at it.
992. Yeah,
Take care.
Twitter or something?
You know what?
Anywhere?
Not too much social media. I can't handle too many
For
accounts.
sure. I'm gonna go inside.
I'm just too
and say
late
what's
to
up Bernie
start. Take
Sanders.
care.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. Well, Wall Street is benefiting from the immigration. You see what that means? See, let me show
It's
you.
not the immigrants' fault.
I'm not saying it is.
Yeah, you are, dude. Yeah, you are.
You don't even let me talk.
I don't even know
No,
what you're saying.
of course not.
I don't know
Full of it.
what are you saying? What's your point?
Social media, Joe.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah, no.
Let me explain. In this state of Nevada, we have the Culinary Workers Union and their
Nobody
own.
cares.
Yeah, and they're controlled by the
Nobody cares.
Like a
casinos.
hug. I
Sure.
think you need a hug.
Sure. And the Culinary Union is a joke. It's a sham. So they use
You're
these.
all right, buddy.
They use these workers, which are foreign-born, and they support these corrupt politicians. So that's how you get Sandoval. That's how you get Sizzlack.
10 hugs a day to balance your serotonin.
Yeah,
And 8 hours of sleep.
yeah.
I'll look into that, man. Sounds. I've never heard that.
This state's politics is dirty. You have casinos, unions, and real estate in the same bed.
What's your name again?
Yes.
Cyrus, yeah, we
Good
heard
to
about
see you.
this. Yeah, how's it
Good
going?
to see you.
I'm surprised.
So I'm talking about this oligarchy.
No, you got to be careful, man. People are scared of you.
Well, it is true. We have an oligarchy that runs the state.
People think you're going to be the next shooter, man.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
What's going on? So what are you?
So what it is, I wanted to ask Mr. Sanders if we should impose a tax on money that's sent abroad to foreign countries. Western Union to keep that money in the U.S. He talks about a Wall Street tax. I support it.
Right. Okay. That's
So
good.
I'm saying that you can put a tax on Western Union transfers to keep the money in the U.S. My family, they got money from the country of their
Do
origin.
you have the opportunity to go on his website and dig into that a little bit more? Because I know he's very on. You know, you go to Bernie.com,
I haven't seen a tax on remittances.
search it. I'll be honest with you. I would be shocked if Bernie would not support that, because Bernie is about, keeping the money in our country, bringing jobs back into our country, about making sure that everybody has a right to dignity.
I just asked him. I didn't get a response. He just had to walk away.
Well, he's got a thing going on.
I understand.
And a lot of times these are complicated. These are complicated. It's not. Unfortunately, most of these you don't have a 12-second soundbite that you can just throw. out
I
there.
understand, but you see, the way I see this work in the state is you have the Culinary Union and the casinos and the real estate. They're in the bed together.
Right.
They select our politicians. And what pisses me off with immigration is they use these workers to manipulate our elections.
Oh yeah, I saw it firsthand in
Okay,
2016.
and let's have this for the record. Why isn't the Culinary Union backing this guy, Warren, or Tulsi Gabbard, or even Andrew Yang?
Why are you a self-loathing immigrant, bro?
Huh?
Your family came from Iran.
Yes, they did.
And why are you so anti-immigrant? If your own history.
I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm
Yes, you are. You're
anti-Culinary
anti-
Union
No, you're
using
anti-
these workers.
You're anti-immigrant.
Well, now,
You're
hold
a
on.
bigot.
I want to hear him out. Okay, I
You can
haven't
go
heard.
to his YouTube page. He's got plenty of material that'll really infuriate you if you actually look him up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, I
Well-
will admit, as an Iranian American, I'm concerned about demographic change.
I bet.
And because I think the whole global
Are
plan
you
was a sham.
self-loathing? Do you wish you were Anglo? Was that?
Oh, hell no. I'm proud of my Persian roots. I think my Persian culture is the best in the world, and I believe every culture should preserve it. I believe that London should preserve its British culture. I believe my grandma, who lives in Tehran, should preserve its Persian culture.
Then what are you doing here?
Who says I care about demographics to live here? I have other plans. I don't give a crap about... I didn't come here because of demographic problems. I came here because I have other plans in mind. I have other business goals I want to get done. But I don't know. What do you want? Do you want the Anglo population to be zero in Las Vegas? No, really, you do.
Those kind of things don't concern me, so it doesn't.
Okay,
really-
well, if it doesn't, then show us a report that if the population goes to zero, if it goes to zero, show me there's nothing to worry about. And I'll say, you know what? I'm sorry. We don't want to. We don't mean to cause any frustration.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think. How would that even take place? Because right now,
Look at Los Angeles.
What's wrong with Los Angeles?
which has a vibrant Anglo community, a vibrant Asian community, a vibrant Latino
Los
community.
Angeles, the Anglo population is almost gone.
A disproportionate. No, go to Brea,
on.
go to Whittier,
Go to
go
Hollywood.
to
The city of Los
Hollywood.
Angeles.
Well, the city of Los Angeles, like many large cities, Chicago and New York included,
And I don't want to be
is
misunderstood.
Is a patchwork of communities that create the larger good.
And I don't want to be misunderstood.
Right.
I am not saying that any person is better than others. I think there's a lot of problems and benefits with every group.
Okay.
I don't
positive.
like this idea where people are flooding into Britain and France and Germany and here, and it's a whole plan to completely change those societies.
Well, the bigger
And-
question you need to ask is why are those people being displaced?
I think because
And being an immigrant from Iran,
I'm the son of
you
two.
know that there is imperial interference in countries like Iran, like Latin America, like Africa, where these people are not allowed to have a free democracy, but corporate imperialism that comes in and exploits
No,
the
that's
general
because
people.
the people voted for Sharia law. That's what happened.
Cyrus, is there a way I could get a photo with you? Out of
Absolutely.
respect, can I get a photo with this troll?
Absolutely.
I like this guy.